guys, my name is Crystal. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome old subscribers, welcome new. If you like my videos, please press the like button and please do subscribe. Good evening. Alexa, what's the time please?
It's 5:23 p.m.
Alexa, what's the date today?
It's Tuesday the 28th of March.
Alexa, what's the weather forecast for this evening?
This evening, you can look for overcast skies, with temperatures around 7 degrees Celsius.
Right, the weather has got a bit better, the rain has lifted. So I've been round my mum's since about 12 o'clock this afternoon. A taxi picked me up this morning. It was about just after 11:30 this morning, and he hooted his horn. Very nice Asian driver, very nice. He went round the back way. So he hooted his horn. I went out the front looking for a taxi, and he was parked round the back, and I hadn't had that taxi driver before, and he said, don't you normally get picked up round here? And I said, no, the taxis normally come to the front of the apartments. And that's the truth, they do. A long time ago, when I first started taking taxis, Max used to come with me, my Chihuahua, there was a driver that kept going round the back. He was a very talkative Asian man. He was very polite, and he used to drive me up to my mum's a lot. But I used to have to take taxis that would take a dog or a pet. And now I don't take Max up to see my mum because we had so much trouble getting taxis that we thought it was best that Max stayed behind. My mum and I both together decided that. So my mum had rung and she said, would you like to come up today? She said, I haven't got dog food, I haven't got cat food, and I haven't got your hair gel. I don't ask my mum to get these things. If my mum wants to get me things, I'm more than welcome to accept them. But I don't force my mum to give me anything. The driver just kept going, occasionally. And he had an iPhone on the passenger seat. I don't have an iPhone, I have a second-hand Samsung phone. I don't have the latest iPhone, so he had an iPhone on his passenger seat, and I just sat there really quiet, because to be honest, I'm just getting sick and tired of it. I'm just I was a housewife, I was a mother, now I'm a middle-aged woman going through the menopause, and I'm sat in the back seat of the taxi, and I'm just getting pissed off with it all, to be honest. I'm just fed up. I just want to get a taxi from A to B. I don't want all the silly bits in between. I'm 54, I'm not 5 years old. I don't pinch iPhones. You know, I don't get cross and leap out of the taxi because someone's upset me. I would have done that years ago with some of the things that have gone on, but I certainly don't do that now because you've got to look at your safety. You've got to look at the safety issues and things like that. So he drove me up to Durrell Gardens, right nearly on my mother's doorstep actually, and my mum did not come out to the taxi. She was in a red cardigan, jeans rolled up and blue shoes on, blue. She didn't come out to the taxi, she gave me the money to pay the driver. And I paid the driver and I went back in, and a lot of the journey the driver was going, Got into my mum's, she's got a few things for me on the table, like she used to do for my dad when he was alive and sat down. She would buy Dad sweets and things and put them on the table near his chair. So I sat down and my mum was going about her business. Do I want a cup of coffee? Do I want a cup of tea? I said no, but thank you. She gave me a seeded brown loaf of bread, a loaf of bread with seeds in it. She gave me that. She asked me if I wanted some bread. Later on, she said to me she does what she normally does. She came over with some takeaway leaflets, and she asked the chap on the phone to get me a small pizza, a small one. So we've got a super pizza here, just a basic pizza, super pizza. Here we are, just 4 slices, add 1. And she told the driver, the delivery person, to get me 2 bottles of mineral water. So this is White Rock. Mum told me that she doesn't have takeaways while I'm away. She doesn't have takeaways on her own. And I also got a carton of Ribena. Of course, you can't just get a small pizza, you have to get other things. I had a chicken burger, which I ate round my mum's. Very nice it was too, garlicky. Chicken burger and some corn on the cob. And there's a piece of banoffee pie, banana and toffee pie, in my fridge. But I don't demand these things. My mum brought over the takeaway leaflet with a pen, and she told me to write down. And this is my writing. And my mum gave me this bit of tissue paper to write on. This is my writing. She said keep it for another time, which I'm doing. My mum has given me an Easter card. So you've seen my writing. You've seen my writing. Now this is my mother's writing. My mum's. This is Jennifer's handwriting. To Genestra, with love from Mum. My mum's given me an Easter card. For you at Easter time. These special Easter wishes are being sent to say, hope that lots of happiness will always come your way. And my mum has put £20 in it. So my mum's put money in the Easter card. Still got the Queen's head on, because King Charles hasn't had his coronation yet, has he? He's not been anointed. So the money's still got the Queen's head on. Technically, Charles is not king till he's been anointed and he's had his coronation. Obviously with Queen Consort Camilla by his side. Right. So the takeaway took a long time to come because the takeaway place, I've passed Super Pizza. When I've gone into Chatham Town Centre, I've passed it. It took over an hour. The food was nice. It was nice and warm and edible. And my mum, Jennifer, answered the door to the white delivery driver who spoke to my mum. He didn't speak to me because I was sat in my mum's watching the telly that was on. And I'd watch various things on my dad's Amazon Fire Stick, YouTube videos about the royal family, Princess Diana, and things like that. And I started watching a film which had a blonde psychotic woman. And she was a real blonde with long curly hair, but she was absolutely nuts. And my mum said that looked like one of her workers that went round to Durrell Gardens to see my mum Jennifer, a blonde lady. Because the woman I had that took my blood in the doctors at St Mary's Medical Centre Strood was a blonde woman. So my mum has had a female blonde worker come round to Durrell Gardens. And she says, oh, that looks like my worker. And she got a bit agitated and upset. I stayed with my mum and kept her company. Sue didn't come in. Charlotte didn't ring on the phone. It was very, very quiet. I didn't see any of the neighbours round my mum's either. I didn't see anybody apart from my mum, and I just heard the takeaway delivery driver. My mum, you know, because I saw my mum not that long ago, a few days ago, so yeah, my mum helps me out because she chooses to help me out. I don't demand things. My mum had asked me what time did I want to go home, I presume she meant. And I said 4:30 because it's after the kids have left school, so the traffic shouldn't be busy, and it's before most people leave full-time work. So I thought 4:30 in the afternoon would be a good time to go home. I didn't want to leave Max too long. So when it was time to go, my mum called the taxi when I wasn't ready. So I didn't have my coat on, my things weren't put away, my phone was still charging in the socket. So she caught me off guard. She phoned for the taxi. I quickly put my coat on. I quickly stuffed things in my bag, put my hat on, tidied myself up, and I said, "When's the taxi coming?" She went straight away, and she'd ordered the taxi for Genestra, not Jennifer, Genestra, because my real name is Genestra, it's not Jennifer. So she ordered the taxi in the name of Genestra. It was like a scene out of a Chinese movie, or you know, like Bruce Lee or whatever. Chinese, Japanese type looking driver, very nice and polite, don't get me